Daily Guide starts this morning and says scandal at Standards Authority, CEO busted in $1.2 million bribe and a house. Dr. George Crentil's photograph is here. Also on the Daily Guide, don't judge Nana in 5 months, says Reverend Marty. And minister arrest Ukrainian galamseyers, all of them. These stories on the Daily Guide this morning. The Today newspaper says Dartey robbery incident, 6 killed, scores seriously injured. A photograph of the IGP here. The finder talks about import 49 medicines banned to grow local pharmaceutical industry and provide jobs. That's the story on the finder. The Bank of Ghana's reduction of the policy rate is also captured here. The Ghanaian Times follows the story in the northern region. 8 killed in gun battle between residents and armed robbers in Dartey. That's in the northern region. Photographs of some 4 alleged illegal miners were told have been arrested. And then we're told again that at the Inkawie district, forest district, 15 hectares of vegetation destroyed by illegal mining. The BNFT says 150 investors ready for 1 district, 1 factory. That's the story. The Daily Statesman, time to wrest corruption. President courts support of chief executive officers. Heritage says stop sacking people. NDC cadres tell Akufo-Addo. And then Galamsey Goddess to be charged today. And the finder spores talks about Muntari Boateng won't return despite RPS assurances. Those are some stories on the papers I have with me. My guest this morning to do the talking to the extreme left is a member of parliament for the Sekondi constituency of the Western region and a member of the NPP, Honorable Andrew Ejapa-Mensah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope you're doing great.
Doing fantastic.
Thanks so much for spending your Tuesday morning with us. And then
Pleasure.
to my left is a former member of parliament and member of the NDC, George Lowe. Good morning, too.
Good morning, Brad.
Thanks so much for spending your Tuesday morning with us,
Thank you.
too. All right. Let's start with the story. It's bothered so much on everything we're doing, particularly as we get ready for the fight against galamsey. We're told that 150 investors ready for 1 district, 1 factory project. The story captured on page 3 says that about 150 proposals have been received from both foreign and local investors keen on partnering government in its proposed plans to establish a factory in each of the 216 districts of the country. Now, the Trade and Industry Minister, Mr. Chematin, was speaking at the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce's Industrial Forum on the 1 district, 1 factory policy. And he said that as at last Friday, the ministry had received 150 proposals from both foreign and local investors. And these include business plans, feasibility studies, and expression of interest covering varied economic interests. He said that since government wants a policy to be driven by the private sector, it anticipates that investors own 100% stake in the new factories. However, if the investor requires government support in terms of financing, then government will become a strategic partner that will invest not more than 30% equity in that particular interest. The story goes on and on and on. And we're told that the project, 1 district, 1 factory, will officially be launched in June at the 2nd National Policy Summit. All right, so that's a story. Honorable Mensah, let's begin from here. So it is clear that in June, this is expected to take off. We're told that a factory will cost between $1 million and $5 million. Now, it is expected to give local businessmen the opportunity to go in there into these ventures. But some have suggested that between $1 million and then $5 million, quite too much for local businesses.
Well, good morning to you and my fellow panelists and also, of course, to your viewers. I don't think it's too much money for people who really are interested in investing.
Local businesses?
It may be a challenge for some. It depends on the nature of the industry that you want to go into. But it will surprise you. People who have the wherewithal in this country to make the investments if the opportunities clearly are available. And I think that this policy, I've always felt that is in the right direction. we have consistently over the years been a country of service providers, because clearly our focus was not on industrial production, but now clear government policy, clear direction, clear incentives that are being laid out to encourage the Ghanaian private sector to go into industries. Clearly will create a lot of jobs for our teeming youth and improve our economy greatly. So it's a useful policy. I have not heard many people criticize it, save to say that, of course, as usual, they forget that when the policy itself was launched, right through the manifesto, it was indicated that it was going to be private sector driven. But they've quickly shifted to attribute the allocation of 1 million per constituency as the funding that was going to be used in creating these factories, which clearly is false.
So that's not it?
Of course, you and I know that that is not the intendment. Save to say that if, for instance, in my constituency, I don't need any funding for boreholes and dams and other things, and I feel that setting up a factory is what is going to help the constituency, nothing stops us from deploying those funds.
That resource to use.
into that investment, which would ultimately improve the local economy. So useful that people have seen what it is that government wants to do. They believe in the economy, believe in the leadership of the economy, and they are prepared to partner with government to set up these factories that will go a long way to help our country.
I see. I come back to you, but let me go to George. George, some other concerns are that we are a country battling cheap imports. Now, these factories are likely to produce these same products that are imported cheaply and sometimes at no cost at all through illegal borders into the country, even though it's been said that the project is expected to target the produce or products for export. Are we able to deal with the issue where these factories are operating, but the produce or the products are equally imported, and so competition will lead to these factories eventually dying out? I mean, we can cite several examples.
Good morning, Bright, once again, and good morning to my brother and to our cherished viewers. One district, one factory. And I agree with my brother that in principle, we love to have manufacturing concerns in our country. And when we were in government, we even attempted, we even set up some factories and attempted and we had promised to do more factories. So it's not different from what the
don't include comment down.
That's we set out to do. I mean, it's always been an idea that we need to industrialize this country. We must move away from just being a dumping ground for foreign goods. If our economy must move, if our city must stabilize, it is not going to get dollars from outside to shore, but it is to do these things so that we have a stable and solid economy to thrive from. I have problems, and before I come to issues of competition, very basic. He's raised some points, and I do not belabor those points too much. Safe to say that I'm happy he went around and came back to square one. That yes, if you look at the outlay for the 1 million one constituency, clearly, where the government is even talking about they putting in 30%.
30%.
If you look at the outlay, it is the contemplation that where you are coming in and you don't have enough fund, that fund is targeted.
Come from the $1 million.
It's targeted to that. So we are not saying anything different from what they have said. Safe to say that, well, if there may be a district where somebody comes and says, I have all the money, I don't need government support. In that case, then clearly they may want to via the 1 million and use it for. And it is not only for factories. The Zongo fund and all those things are chips from that. It's clear from their own policy. I have a problem though with the policy. We've just been told that 150 people have brought
Of express interest.
Great.
Some have come in with business.
Fantastic.
plans and all.
That's good and that's encouraging. If indeed there are 150 people there, that's encouraging. But you see, for us all to benefit from this, why is nobody making available to us the information? Because we will need to critique the information to ensure that exactly what we need is what we are going to get. What if 150 people have all come and they are going to produce pure water in the 150 districts? Is that what we want? Would that benefit the country? You see, we are, I've said on this program before that what needs to be done is that we must hammer on our strengths. In terms of raw material, in terms of production, in terms of quality, there are areas where in Ghana we can say are our strengths. Okay? So factories shouldn't just come in. And like you are saying, why? If you come in with textiles, for instance, I wonder how you do it so well so that you are competitive. Because all our former, Akosombo,
they've all collapsed.
and others have collapsed because of this cheap influx of cheap. And it's going to get worse because September we've already announced that we're going to just have a free ride, technically, to have free flow of goods, which in one vein it's good. But so far, I have not seen our ability to curtail these things, from coming to compete with our local goods. So clearly, first and foremost, we must understand what we are doing.
Information isn't coming.
Information isn't coming.
We should wait for the launch in June before?
Oh, why should we wait for? Why? We should have inputs in there. That's what I'm saying. You see, we should have inputs here. Somebody may have brought a business plan. But maybe there are people who have other ideas. When you come to my district and you want to set up a factory, okay, even in terms of labor outlay, in terms of certain small technical things, as former
you can make it. Yes, so you need that information.
So it would have been nice if that information is there, discussed thoroughly with assembly members, discussed thoroughly with people stakeholders. Then we all are au fait and we are all on the same plate.
No, I'll come to you very soon.
So that is important, and I would have wished that we funding. I have a little problem also. You are talking about 1 million, 3 million, 1 million, 5 million.
It's between $1 and $5 million.
Yes, being too high.
Yeah,
but what kind of factories are we contemplating? What factories are we contemplating?
Are you suggesting that local businesses can raise between $1 and $5 million?
You see, in fact,
easily like that.
For me, it's even too small. If we must have factories that will provide the jobs that we are talking about, okay? Because if you come to my constituency, there are small factories that I'm sure we had Kingdom Fruits, and I'm sure the investment is about 10 million or more. But it's not being able to employ all the people. There are many more people who don't have jobs. There are other small. But I'm saying that if we want really to say that we are using this as a vehicle to produce jobs for the millions of unemployed people that we are talking about, we need to look at these things again. But as for the money, if it is 1 million, then we can say that we have 100 factories already, because I think UMB said they have made available 100 million for factories. So then they have 1 million of you. Everybody, once they agree with your proposal, you get it. You understand? But I don't think that is the way we want to go about this. We must think through it properly. And for me, I have consistently hammered on this side of things because, look, right, in this country, sometimes when you go out there, okay, and I hope that my brother has had the opportunity to go out there and market Ghana. If you go out there, the ideas that we have, people get up and clap non-stop because they are fantastic ideas. Roll out. Implementation becomes our bane. I remember that we went to Nigeria one day for some function. And you know how we were introduced? They said these are guys who come from a country where everything works. And then when we went back to our room, we started laughing. we were saying, these guys, do they really understand what they are talking about? But that is it. We have fantastic ideas. You make a presentation on Ghana and thumbs up.
But implementation is always a challenge.
And I'm saying that the challenge with implementation is because we don't engage We don't engage in full stakeholder consultation.
Honorable Mesa, so he raises the issue of not getting enough information.
That's surprising to me, because
you have information.
If this were government initiatives, then you would say that consultations with district assemblies and all that would be required. This is private sector driven.
So we should not know what they want to do? Because we're all expected to make input. That's his argument.
What input would the district
For instance, he's a former member of parliament. So if an investor is coming to his constituency, you don't think
the expectation is that the investor would do his own evaluation to determine the viability or otherwise of the business that he wants to set up, and then make the investment. Because
but this is your manifesto promise. So
yes,
even the investor comes in, you have a role to play as a government.
Hold on, we have a role to play as a government. That is why we are saying that we are creating the environment that would enable private sector to lead this establishment of the factories. In situations where funding becomes an issue, government will be prepared, having evaluated the proposals that have been submitted, seeing the viability of the entities, to invest up to 30% to support the private sector.
I see.
So that is the thinking. It's not that government is going to set up factories across the country.
He cited an example that assuming that all these 150 investors decide to go into pure water making. Are you going to sit down as government and allow them to go?
I won't even debate that kind of suggestion, because you and I know that nobody desirous of setting up a water, pure water producing factory will go to the Ministry of Trade to go and have any conversation with them. They will just buy their machine, put in their garage and start producing.
Isn't that the reason why we need the information to be able to make inputs?
What is the nature of the information that you require?
Okay, so like
he would have to tell us the kind of information that you
see. So which 150 investors? What are they? What business are they going into?
Or his expectation was that the minister should have at this forum listed that company A is intended to going into agro processing. This is going into shoe manufacturing. This is going into plantain harvest.
You think it's not necessary?
Well, I believe that if you go to the ministry and you want to have any conversation with them, whatever information that you want would be available.
I see.
Yeah, but when you've gone out there as a government, look the people of Ghana. You didn't look at the business people. You looked the people of Ghana in their face and made a manifesto promise and said that in every district we will set up a factory.
With
please,
what?
Please.
No, I mean,
the idea is not about how you do it. But even I'm saying that
told the people of Ghana how you do it.
You told the people of Ghana that you set a factory. You went ahead later on to say that. Oh,
not later. It is in the manifesto.
Please, it will be private sector led. Okay, fine. But I'm saying that even private sector mining concerns and other things, when they are moving in, they come and do what you call public hearing and things like that. Why do they do that? Because everybody must be brought to understand what is going on.
You expect that will
be done. I'm saying that you see, over here, if the minister, even if they publish a list of 150 companies and the areas in which they want to go and the districts in which they want to go, it gives me the opportunity to say, oh, this guy in my district, they want this. You know why I'm saying that? You know, at the run-up to the elections, there was something that circulated about what was going to benefit. And in my district, what they put there had nothing to do with capacity and nothing to do with raw material that we have. We know our strength. We know what we have. If you are coming into aqua fishing, for instance, having coastal as a factory, you are going to make, because we are surrounded by the water lake.
Right.
I have 7 landing sites in my constituency. If it comes to vegetable farming, we are on top. Garden eggs and other things. So and then of course fruits. So when you are coming in, and it's those areas, we are able to even lead you. We are able to even help you with land and things like that.
It is surprising
the information,
to me why
I am saying that information is key in everything that we do. After all, are we not doing it for the people? After all, why are we hiding?
Do you disagree with what
I wonder why he thinks that because you are situated in an agricultural zone necessarily means that food processing or some value addition to the raw material there is the only factory that can be established in your district.
Somebody
can set up
and decide
to set up a pharmaceutical company in your district. Is that not possible?
But you see,
what are we talking about? It is possible. You see, but won't we take into consideration issues about raw materials?
Look, my constituency is a fishing
basic economics.
We sit in Accra. You see, Accra is typically fishing. Okay. Do we have only fishing processing companies in Accra?
No, you cannot compare Accra. You cannot compare Accra to North-Dine. And I'm saying that in North-Dine, one of the challenges the farmers have is that they are producing these things. If they have a factory there that will buy immediately, right? The value chain will continue. You don't even get only people to go and work in the factory, but they are providing jobs also for the people who are the small scale farmers who are working and producing that should be what should be driving us if we are serious about this.
Suggested that
I'll bring you in. That is why you must give us the information. I'm saying that it is not for one reason why you are going there. It is for all of us. If we must move this country forward, the president himself has said we shouldn't be what? Spectators. He said we must be what? Citizens. So as citizens, we must have a right to know what is going to happen in our place and see how we can contribute towards it.
Okay. Honorable Mr. Wrap up on this for me.
And you identify the potential in your constituency. What stops you from sending a proposal to the ministry that in this constituency that I come from, these are the kinds of raw materials and the kind of factory that can be set up, and that I need government support in helping to set up that business. Because I'm saying,
if you are not an entrepreneur, you are doing something.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That I agree entirely. It's the extent to which he's stretching his argument that is making me put in this proposition.
Okay.
Because the expectation is that private sector persons would drive the one district, one factory.
Wait a minute. You see,
let's understand
the whole concept of driving. Let's understand the whole concept of driving. The whole concept of driving, for me, is not that private people want to do what they like, but government. It's a government-led initiative. Remember that private sector has always been sitting there. They never said that they wanted to do one district, one factory. But the government brought that idea and said, wait. Yes. Now government wants to realign. So government says, look, I believe that we can do one district, one factory. Come on board. I'll provide the enabling environment.
Absolutely.
And I'll lead the process. There will be times when even the process for land acquisition will be led by government. District assemblies. You understand? Because sometimes you are moving into an area and there's a challenge with the land. The people don't have to. Maybe the DC should be able to broker some understanding. All these things are important. That is why I'm saying that get the people involved. Chiefs must be part of the process. You don't assume that you can wake up in the morning.
If you haven't evaluated the proposals,
all right.
How are you going to engage?
Saying that information. Really, why are you afraid of
information? What information?
Because you don't even have
it. Information do you want?
All right. I'm grateful. Gentlemen, let me move to the Daily Graphic and the final this morning. A very key issue here. No more import of 49 medicines. Local manufacturers to fill gap. The finder puts it, import 49 medicines banned to grow local pharmaceutical industry and provide jobs. The story is saying that the local pharmaceutical industry, by the Daily Graphic, says has been given a big boost following government decision to ban the importation of 49 medicines which have been reserved for local manufacturers. They talk about aluminium hydroxide, or magnesium trisilicate suspension, amoxicillin capsules and suspension, aspirin or caffeine tablet, folic acid, blah, blah, blah. All of them are part of the 49. Now, we're told that this is to allow local manufacturers to manufacture them, thereby creating jobs. And Honorable Master, that should be good news for our local pharmaceutical industry.
Absolutely, yes, no doubt at all, because clearly this policy is going to help in manufacturing more of the products which would then be acquired by the Ghana Health Service mostly, and of course the private sector players in the administration of our health delivery system. So it's very good that the government has decided to, as it were, implement fully some AU policy that has been in existence, I believe, since 2007. employment to be created from these, of course, because if the local manufacturing pharmaceuticals have to expand their capacity and produce more, knowing that they are not competing with
foreign imports,
of course, it opens up their ability to engage more people, expand their capacity, and that will also go to help with the unemployment issues that we have. It would help in deepening our economy, broadening our production sector, and it's a welcome news that we all should embrace, and I believe that my brother will embrace it fully and not play propaganda as always with anything that.
Is that what he's doing?
Oh, that's all that he does. He's a very good friend of mine.
I see the way George is shaking. But can we confidently say that our local pharmaceutical factories have the capacity to produce these?
You see, this ties in very well with the one district, one factory that we've all been talking about. Because clearly, if I am an entrepreneur and I see that government has banned all these products from being imported, nothing stops me from going into a joint venture with some foreign manufacturer to come and set up the factory here and produce. Because it's not restricted to only Ghanaian businesses. It's restricted to medicines that are manufactured here in Ghana.
Right.
So businesses can come in, set up the factories here, and produce the medicine here. So it helps.
I see. But then again, it comes to because the medicines are produced, the NHIA that buys these medicines is unable to pay these manufacturers, and so it becomes another challenge.
George will be in a better position to answer that question. They collapse the NHIA, but no, of course,
but you
I know that steps
now.
are being taken.
You are in charge.
We are in charge. That's why I'm coming there. I will address
So
it.
do we then need to address the issue of, for instance, NHIA inability to pay, and also the fact that interest rates are so high that these local manufacturers may find it tough getting the required interest credit to go into manufacturing of these local these medicines?
Well, look, we can't pretend as if we don't have problems in this country.
Yes.
We have huge problems, and that is why governments are voted into power to resolve them. Yesterday, we all heard that the Monetary Policy Committee has reduced the bank rate by 100 basis points. That clearly would impact the lending rates that the banks lend to credit, and clearly will help in making credit less expensive for our people. It needs to come down further, but it's only when the economy improves, the outlook looks better, that the MPC can then lower the policy rate further. And we are hopeful that as government policy is, looking on the high, all these things are going to fall in place. And so it's early days yet. NHIA has been run down. We all know the problems that they faced over the years. Government has clearly spelled out its plan to pay off all the debts and also find additional investments to make it viable. Like I said, it's early days. Only time will tell, and I'm hopeful that the NHIA, we cannot afford to let it fail, because the relief that it provides to a majority of our people is unimaginable. We cannot, under any circumstances, allow it to fail. And so, give it time. These things will be resolved, and then we'll all see the benefits that will come out.
George, so good news for local pharmaceutical businesses, but some concerns have been raised, because if they are to go into production, then they need the credit, the interest rates are high, the consumer, the NHIA, is unable to pay them if they buy these medicines. So there is a bit of a challenge there.
Well, there has always been a challenge across board, and it's first of all, let me just say that, well, it's generally good news, and I would have thought that aside,
it's good news. Don't add any caveats.
Aside medicine, other things would also, for instance, yesterday Dr. Kofi Amon was talking about poultry,
right?
Yeah.
And I think that there are other things that we should, we should protect. Some industry that we protect. With the pharmaceuticals, actually we started it. We gave credit. You remember we gave credit to all the local manufacturers.
About $200 million.
Yes,
for
to build
local industry.
To build their capacity, and which I believe they have done, and that is why possibly today this kind of decision can be taken.
These policies were started in 2007.
It can be taken today because I'm sure that the ministry, the minister could have met them and be assured that they have capacity. Because without capacity, they will not allow them. They will not go. They will not be firm on this decision.
So you think they're sure about the capacity?
So they are sure they have got capacity. And to be very frank with you, all these drugs, I start because, but all of them are already in the system being produced by the local. The problem is that they are competing with the foreign people. If you walk into a shop today, you will get folic acid that is produced in Ghana and one that is coming from maybe Smith, Klein, Beecham, and or those international companies. So I think that it's a leeway being given to local manufacturers to possibly increase production. Because if the foreign ones are not coming, then you have to rely on this one. So they will have a lot more market share. Problem, though, is our standards.
The quality of the medicine.
Quality of that we hope, it's our prayer that having been given this opportunity, they will not fail the government by bringing in substandard goods because they have a free reign in terms of the production of these
manufacture substandard goods.
Substandard here in Ghana. We believe that they will live up to the standards that we all want. Because you see, when you go, and I don't know if that's happened to you before, you go a doctor or even a pharmacist gives you a prescription, or you take a prescription or no. They show you, they say, I prefer you buy this because this is from UK, this is from here, this is from here. Whilst the local one is already also stocked. There's also a system that I found out that some drugs are taken to the rural areas. Some caliber of drugs, the same drug. So you find out that maybe if it's folic acid, it's the local ones that, because of purchasing power and things like that. My prayer is that we should have a standard where we all are assured that when I take my folic acid, I'm getting what I must get out of folic acid. Like I said already, NS Chemists and others are doing a great job already. All those ones, right. In fact, Tobinco and others, and Adams and things, and some are even producing for the West African market. And they are even producing antiretroviral, and things for the UN and things like that. So we have capacity, and I believe that I have faith in our local pharmaceutical industry. You know, I hope that nobody will take advantage, and they themselves should police themselves. They should peer review themselves. They should ensure they have a union or an association. So I believe that they'll peer review themselves and ensure that any of these things that come to the market would be worth its salt. And then we are on Terra Firma. And I also say that government should take steps, to extend it to other sectors. You
were in power for 8 years. You didn't extend it.
But why we started? I told you that we started it. Please. All right, we started it. So don't go there. We started it, but for us giving them capacity,
I gave you the commencement time period. 2007.
No, I'm saying that because we built capacity today, we can implement it. If we didn't, how can we?
I'm grateful. Let me go to the Daily Guide. This is an issue I guess we'll take some minutes to look at. The story on page. Don't judge Nana in 5 months, says Reverend Marty. I think we can look at that story.
You see, let me tell.
You are still going back to the old.
My friend, what is your problem?
He doesn't have a problem. With AU's pharmaceutical manufacturing plan for Africa.
I am saying
which
that
aspires to strengthen Africa's ability to produce high quality and affordable.
All right, so we strengthen them, gentlemen. So we strengthen by giving them special incentives.
This was endorsed by AU heads of states in 2007.
I am saying that in 2007, but we have built capacity for you today to be able to come and say that we didn't build capacity.
I have brought a chapter on the medicines now. The Daily Guide this morning says, don't judge Nana in 5 months. The immediate past moderator of the General Assembly of the Presby Church has chided those criticizing the NPP government that it has failed in less than 5 months in office. It has therefore stated it is unwise for anybody to assume that President Nana Addo has failed within less than 5 months since he took over from President Mahama and his National Democratic Congress administration. The outspoken Reverend Minister who made the remark, the commissioning of a hospital in the Eastern region, noted though previous governments, both NDC and NPP, have failed the country, especially in the field of healthcare delivery. He says that President Addo's regime would to be the bandwagon of failed government is unwise. He's saying that to say that President Addo's regime is the bandwagon of failed government is unwise. He goes on and says that, and he says, and they are querying those who just came, even they have not gotten 1 year. I'm calling upon those unwise people to stop querying. They should pray that the present government succeeds. All right. Grateful. That's the story in the day. George, is a prayer of the opposition that the government should fail?
Right. If the government fails, as they are doing, me and you, do we get any benefit?
No, we don't.
If they succeed, do we get any benefit?
We do.
Yes. So why would I want a government to fail?
Professor Marty is thinking that those who are those in opposition are praying for the government to fail.
I am Presbyterian trained, so I find it very, very, very difficult to speak when Professor Marty speaks. Because we've been brought, a Cropon Salem boy, I've been brought to be very courteous and very respectful to elders. But he must, you see, Professor Marty particularly, if I were him, I would not come out and be talking about things like this. The things that are happening in the past 5 months, well, somebody wrote on social media that he had developed caca. Maybe if it's true, maybe it's gone off. He's sitting in this country and he said that he hasn't seen all the things that have gone on.
What has gone on in the past 5 months?
When please allow George. I'll come
people
to you.
are attacking people, courts have been taken over by hooligans.
Please.
Promises have been failed. 100-day promises.
Who made 100-day promises in this?
And it hasn't happened. And Professor Mate is sitting there and saying that what? Well, he has always held himself as a Nyansanfo. He is a Nyansanfo. So maybe we'll give him that credit. We will accept. We don't know anything.
But can we use...
But I'm saying that the things that timelines have been given, they are the things that we've criticized. The things, and it is our duty anyway, to keep pointing out things when they are not going right. We don't have to wait for 20 years. Okay? As things are being rolled out, if there are challenges, we should talk about them. I don't know why, if Professor Mate is saying that if we see that Nana Addo has gone for a 2.25 billion bond, and we see conflict of interest and insider trading, because it's 5 months, we should shut up? Is that what he's saying? Or that when we see hooligans chasing officers out of their offices, when people's cars are being seized in their houses and people are being attacked in their homes, claiming that they are retrieving public property, we should sit down and keep quiet because it's 5 months. What is he talking about? Please, you see, like I said, I'm restraining myself from but Professor Mate and people like him should give us a break in this country. They only have math when other people are in power. And yet, when other people come, they develop caca or sore throat. Nobody hears about them. You see, I've said this before, that in this country, we say corruption and other things are the things that are killing us. I don't believe so. Hypocrisy, right? Hypocrisy. At the highest level, that is what is killing this country. Wrong is wrong when it's done by John Mahama. It's wrong when it's done by Akufo-Addo. It's wrong when it was Kufuor. It is wrong when... Let's be consistent in this country. You see, nobody is a perfect human being, including Professor Marty. He himself, look at the problems he had with the Presbyterian Church. But you see, that is human nature. My brother Mesa is not a perfect human being. That is why we are all striving to be like Christ. Because we are not Christ. You understand? But I'm saying that let's call a spade a spade. When the thing is wrong, let's tell the people that, oh, where you are going, please, it's not good. Come back. Maybe sometimes the way we say it may not be palatable to everybody. But we will say it anyway. And I'm saying that 5 months, things that happen in 5 months, if we want to shut up.
He referred to
the mistakes of today.
He referred to persons talking about things that happened in 5 months as unwise people.
Well,
that's what the paper
that is why I'm saying that he was asking for Nyansanfo in this country. So maybe up to now they haven't come yet. Maybe he is still looking for his answer for. That is why he's saying that. Maybe his answer has arrived. But the bottom line is that I'm saying that, please, Professor Matt, if the things happen and you will not talk, keep quiet and leave the rest of us to talk. We are citizens. We don't want to be spectators in this country.
Honorable Mesa, so can we analyze 5 months of President Anado's administration? We can't talk about it. And that if we criticize him, we are unwise?
It depends. It's all context. You understand? We live in this country. Today, George is sitting here saying that the problem that is killing this country is hypocrisy. And I wonder when he realized it.
Long ago. I've been saying it long ago.
You've been saying it long ago?
Long ago.
Amazing.
Yeah, long ago.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, long ago.
That people who have presided over the affairs of this country for 8 years ran everything down.
And you are able to
survive. Isn't that why
you are able to survive? Absolutely.
Isn't that why
you are able to survive? That's why the people of Ghana voted for change. Now, Nakonedu said it a couple of weeks ago that what they have destroyed in 8 years, they expect others to fix in 4 months. How realistic is that? How realistic is it to expect someone to fix problems that have been created over 8? You can even extend it beyond 8. I don't have a difficulty. But the truth of the matter is that pure politics, hypocrisy, like he himself said, all of a sudden they become angels. They see evil today, but never saw evil 6 months ago. But the Ghanaian people are the ones who judge. You and I, we always wear NDC MPP hats. But the people in the pharmaceutical industry who are going to benefit from this policy, the jobs that are going to be created and the people who are going to be engaged, they are the ones. The taxes that are being reduced, the people who are directly benefiting from the policies of government, the saving of our environment from this clamp down on Galamsey, the people who are benefiting, they are the ones who will judge. In any event, this government has a 4-year mandate. And nobody anywhere promised any 100-day timeline for you to sit here and judge.
You were not reading. Maybe you haven't read your own manifesto.
Read today.
I say you didn't read your own manifesto. You didn't listen to your own running mate.
Honorable Mesa,
you didn't read your own. You didn't listen to your own running mate.
Honorable Mesa, the key thing here is that, are you suggesting that because you have a 4-year mandate, we can't talk about what has happened in the past 5 months?
No, not at all.
That is what Professor Mate is saying.
But you see,
he says such persons are unwise.
That's why I said context. You ought to situate in the proper context. You understand? He mentions what you call it, the Delta Force rabble rousers. Yes, everybody condemned them.
So they are
nobody.
So they are unwise.
No, it's contextual. If
contextual?
If you don't situate it in context, but of course, Professor Mate, in his own statement yesterday, criticized some appointees of government.
So he's unwise.
It doesn't.
By extension,
you see, you can take it out of context and say all the things that he said. But you are not the only one who is reading this paper. A lot of people will read it and will draw conclusions that are reasonable to them. And the context that I'm saying is that people who are overly criticizing and expecting the government to do magic in 5 months, he tells them they are unwise. And that is consistent.
Those who are criticizing government and expecting them overly are wise.
To do magic in resolving all the problems that they've created for this country over 5 months are the people that he is directing this comment to.
And you know,
you sit here and talk of bond. Go on a wild goose chase.
I agree.
Continue.
Oh, we don't have a problem, my brother. But you see, for me, Professor Mate is right. You know why? You know why? Why? He was talking about us having been in power for 8 years. Also, President Kufuor was in power for 8 years. And yet, when Professor Mills took over, how many months? And Nana Akufo-Addo started saying, fix the problems. Do you remember? That if the economy is in a mess, you should fix it. Is that not so? He was unwise.
All right.
According to Professor Amati.
It is not for me.
I am saying that he was unwise. So when he's saying that we are unwise, you should think nobody has raised insult. I'm saying that by his statement, he's saying that Nana Akufo-Addo at the time was unwise.
Does not allow me to do that. You can say all the things that you want to say.
You can decide to be sinister. I don't mind at all. I am saying that, you see, that's what I'm saying, that hypocrisy. At the time, why didn't he tell Nana Akufo-Addo that he was unwise? Or that time he wasn't in this country? I mean, let's get to stop this kind of...
But asking government to fix the problem...
But why? When we criticize, what do we do? Is it not that you should fix the problem? Why don't we expect you to fix the problem when we complain?
But the problems are being fixed.
Okay, so we were not fixing it. What are you talking about?
All right.
Charlie.
Let's jump to the Daily Graphic this morning. Page 16 has a story. We're moving away from national fight against corruption. We're moving national fight against corruption from rhetorics, President. And the Daily Statesman says, time to arrest corruption. President courts support of chief executive officers. Now, the story says that President Addo has said the government intends to shift the national fight against corruption from rhetorics to an action-based phase to end the menace with the urgency it demands. He said as president, he was not naive about the enormity of the problem and how it continued to undermine national development, and therefore would not sing the chorus of the problem without addressing it. That's the Daily Graphic story. And the Statesman says that both local and foreign businessmen who have capital to invest to boost the economy are often discouraged from doing so because of corruption, President Addo yesterday observed. And he therefore added that the time to curtail corrupt practices is now, stressing the scale and level of corruption, especially in the Fourth Republic, needs to be arrested immediately. So, George, he said, the president said, we have made so much noise about corruption, we seem not to have achieved so much. So this is the time to move into action away from talking about fighting corruption. This perhaps should give us a signal that this government is ready to fight corruption.
Oh, right. Ready. When? They should do it. The thing is happening. So, yes, I agree with President Addo completely when he says that let's move from rhetorics. As a former member of the Public Accounts Committee, I shared in that this thing completely, and then that we are talking too much about corruption. Let's see action. Let Nana start now. Professor Amati has given him a lead. He says some of his ministers are corrupt, appointees are corrupt. He should start. His minister of finance shouldn't be at post now. He's been cited for corruption and insider trading.
That is your minority cited him.
Yes, you have cited him, yes.
All right.
He should be asked to step aside while investigations go on. Then you are fighting corruption. Then you are moving from rhetorics to action. Okay? Yesterday, I read somewhere that he said it was what? He was going to put open an office in the presidency or something. Did I hear that?
The finance minister?
No, the president. I read.
Yeah, the office of, I've forgotten the exact
Yeah, we had the office of accountability at Akufo. In fact, what he did was to shield corrupt officers rather than them. Let's see how this one also play out. But I'm saying that Nana is also talking too much. Action is what he asked for. He said he's in a hurry. He should be in a hurry about corruption. And we'll all support him.
Honorable Minister, the president is talking serious business.
Absolutely. Clear indication of someone who is hell-bent on dealing with the issues that his government inherited. Of course, he's indicated clearly that one of the major areas of corruption is in the area of public procurement, where sole sourcing was the order of the day under the NDC, and that this time around, not one single government project is going to be initiated through sole sourcing. He says action.
Not one. Already there are some that have gone through.
Which one?
Thank you.
Which one?
Already.
Which one? Which one?
You can vouch that no.
Indicate the one that has gone. As far as my information goes,
all right.
I'm not aware of any project that has gone.
No, you are not aware, or you don't know. I mean,
indicate the one that has gone.
The fertilizer contract, how was it awarded? Was it under sole sourcing?
Which fertilizer?
The fertilizer that were brought in for the farming season.
fertilizers were brought in from where for
farming
farmers.
season.
So you are not even aware.
You are not aware.
You are not aware. You see.
What fertilizers were brought in?
The free fertilizer program. How was the
Fertilizers are brought in by private persons and government purchases them by way of subsidies.
How was the contract?
It's subsidies that are being provided for farmers.
You are not aware. Say you are
how
not
was
aware.
the
Say there are no free fertilizers being distributed though. Bear in mind.
I know. No, Mesa.
It is
how
subsidies.
Are you aware of how
Private
the contract
persons
was awarded?
Which contract has been awarded?
All right, let's move
what
on.
Contract?
Another way.
What contract has been awarded for fertilizers?
Don't worry. We are just waiting quietly.
You see,
I'm not in a hurry.
Since you're not
clearly, this government is bent on dealing with corruption. That any procurement that exceeds $2 million has to go up to the presidency for vetting. The president has indicated clearly. And he's calling on the private sector because the private sector necessarily works with the public sector. They interface. Government businesses are invariably done by the private sector, and he's calling on them to help in the fight against corruption. And look, this is not a government that has 8 years of track record that we can look and critique. This is a government that is only 5 months old. It has an additional number of 3 years plus, 7 months to go. And the indication that has been laid clearly shows where we are going. And believe you me, Ghanaians will be the judges at the end of the term of this government.
I see. Did you really say that no project by this government will be awarded on sole source?
Look, that is the indication that the president has given. It is not going to be the order of the day. It is entirely possible. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Impossible.
Hold on.
Because
I'm coming. It is entirely possible that where the conditions that are necessary for sole sourcing to be done, that leaves us with no choice. Of course, that is why the law allows for that to be the case. But under our brothers, we all know what happened in this country.
What happened? Even
when they are buying rice, they buy sole sourcing. When several other people sell rice in this country. That is not going to happen under President Nana Akufo-Addo's watch.
I see. George, so that's it. I mean, one of the key issues is that,
but you see,
it's not going to be a wide window.
Yeah, but I'm saying that,
I am saying
that when you reduce corruption to sole sourcing in this country, then you don't understand what corruption stands for. Sole sourcing is a legal matter. I am yet to see the NPP go into court to challenge something that the NDC has sole sourced. I'm yet to see it because you must follow the rules. PPA gives permission for sole sourcing, and they know what constitutes the rules. There may be times that you may have a different idea, but you see, sole sourcing sometimes comes from the funding. If you are getting a funding from a bank, right, they will insist that you buy from an American company or from an American. Remember the Otinye issue? I worked on it, and I know what I'm talking about. A bank gives you credit, right? It says buy only American vehicles as part of the conditions for which you accepted. So you have to sole source. But because the kind of,
because the
kind of vehicle that you want to
George, for instance, the bus branding.
No, I am not saying. Listen, I am saying that. I'm saying that, you see, there are several things that go into sole sourcing.
But it's an avenue for corruption.
I'm saying that PPA gives those things.
But
I'm saying that if they are not happy, they should challenge it. We will be happy.
Ex post facto.
But I'm saying that, you see, when we reduce corruption to sole sourcing, then we are not getting the point. Because I'm saying that even now under Nanado, a lot of things have happened. Why? The Ameri committee that was sent to Dubai. Conflict of interest, we've raised it. What has he done about it? Where they've gone to the company where they claimed they were going to renegotiate, took money, pocketed some, drank their wine.
That's not true.
It is true. Why? Did Addison come to deny that they were given per diem by the company? Didn't they buy their air ticket? Didn't they feed them? Didn't they put them in a hotel? Didn't they shop for them? So what are we talking about? And you are saying that all these things are happening under your watch, and you say you are coming to fight corruption. I said the corruption is happening. So fight it now. Now.
Honorable Mr. Wrap up for me on this one. I've hit the top of the hour.
He has nothing more to add.
Oh no,
Oh,
he
yeah.
has.
No, that's
He's
one
referring to
corruption
this
issue.
note.
Oh, of course. I mean, I've indicated clearly that
Mess a wrap up for
it's only a matter of time
He has nothing
that
to
all of
more to
us
add.
will see the extent to which the government is serious in fighting corruption or not. I mean, we can sit here and talk all the talk that we want. It is only when the action is actually on the ground that we would make a determination as to whether government is serious in fighting corruption or not. And I agree, yes. And I expect that so long as the framework has been put in place, the public office of the public prosecutor and everything has been set, then we will see the action. Yeah.
I'm grateful. Honorable Andre Japan Mesa is a member of Parliament for the
bars.
Secondary constituency, a member of the NPP, and then George Low, a former member of Parliament and a member of the NDC. Gentlemen, grateful for Tuesday morning. Hope to see you again. Thanks so much, those of you who stayed out there to be part of the show. Of course, keep your messages coming in. Johnny will be reading them. We're stepping on the break. When we come back, we'll tell you what's up in the world of sports. Stay with us.